Would you be able to tell the difference between TMC's Marine Raider minifigs? So throughout the years, TMC has came out with two different versions of their Marine Raider minifigs, which are pretty good in both forms that they came out with. Now, the first one came out in 2021 with a JPC as a plate carrier and a little darker camouflage, which was a woodland camouflage, but not the M81 woodland camouflage that MARSOC Raiders and other branches do use. Since the minifigure has a JPC plate carrier, he also has magazine pouches that are what we call taco magazine pouches. Pretty much where you put the magazine in the magazine pouch, but doesn't have a bungee cable or a flap to hold the magazine in the magazine pouch. So it's free floating and easier to access when you're in a gunfight. The left side of the minifigure has an American flag patch above his shoulder pocket. So it looks very similar to the version 1 of the Marine minifigures that TMZ did come out with, the woodland and desert version. Underneath his arm, he also has nothing gear-wise, just the straps to the JPC. So usually operators that use JPC don't have side sappies, which are just an extra plate on each side of the body, so that way you're fully protected. The back of the minifigure has a backpack that's attached via MOLLE on the back of the JPC plate carrier. The backpack is called a map pack or map backpack. I'm not sure exactly what the name of it is, but pretty much it carries utility gear that operators will need when they're in conflict, as well as he has a radio on the back right next to the backpack. Like the left of the minifigure, he has two patches on his right arm, one of those being another American flag facing the other way versus on the left, and he has the Marine Raider patch. Also, the minifigure that came out in 2021 has a minifig fast helmet and Pelotor lookalikes, and as well as TMC printed a American flag on the left side of the helmet. Now, this minifigure doesn't have the inside printing like the other minifigures that TMC has recently been coming out with a full 360 printing, but this minifigure is not too bad for what the minifigure is. Now, with a Marine Raider that came out in 2022 for the Black Friday shenanigans, I believe is what the event was called, he has a more updated and a lot more detail to it. Starting with the front of the minifigure, he has the Gen 3 plate carrier with magazine pouches tucked inside. So his kangaroo pouch is pretty much his magazine pouch, which is pretty cool to see. And he also has a blood type. So there was multiple different blood types. This minifigure has an AB blood type patch. He also has what looks like an admin pouch on his chest rig as well. So just above the magazine pouches. On the left of the minifigure, he has an IFAK, or just what it looks like is an IFAK or maybe a utility pouch. On his left shoulder, he has more of what the M81 camouflage uniform or frogs, which is great to see because it has the Velcro patch, two lines down the whole left shoulder pockets, which is pretty cool to see because I haven't seen that on any minifigures that any other company has come out with. So on the back of the minifigure, you can be able to see more frog texture of the gear. So you can be able to see the tan that morphs into the M81 camouflage, and as well as on the back of the Gen 3 plate carrier, he has a hydration pouch and a radio. So it's a little different than the original. On the right of the minifigure, he has another IFAK or admin pouch, which looks very similar to the left one. So I want to say they're maybe just utility pouches or vice versa for IFAKs or whatever the case may be. On his right shoulder, on the pocket, he has an American flag and as well as the Marine Raider patch, which is a phenomenal detail to see. And I'm glad they carried it over from the 2021 version. The 2022 version of the Marine Raider also has TMC's new injection molded fast helmet, which are not too bad. They're kind of stiff depending on which version you do get. So removing from the minifigure head is kind of difficult and hard to do at times, but it's a great detail. I do like the minifigure's face, as in he has one eyebrow kind of raised. So it gives that tiny little detail that is unique to this specific minifigure. But I believe it was other minifigures that do get this head, but it's a funny and cool little detail to see. Now in 2022, TMC came out with the printing of the interior of the leg, which this minifigure has. So he has a full leg 360 print, and it's great to see the detail. So that way when you have him as a mock, you don't have the inside of the Lego leg, and it just gives it that little more detail to add to your mock. Overall, these minifigures are greatly detailed and amazing minifigures. I enjoy both of them, but I have to go with the version from 2022 because it just has a lot more detail and it's produced a lot better. So I definitely love to see more of what TMC comes out with for Marine Raiders, hopefully different versions, one with a machine gun, one that's a corpsman, things like that. So hopefully TMC will see this and be able to produce more versions of the Marine Raider.